I saw this just a couple days ago saying that Claude's embedding invisible watermarks in everything that it generates, I guess. It says in all the text. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it doesn't surprise me at all. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that there was watermarking going on, and I'm just curious how it's done. Like, is it just something that is inside the text, or is it something that it can be detected if you're reading it because of the cadence and the sentence structure, or and then can you impersonate the watermark of the model? I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
what do
going
you
to be
think?
interesting to see. I feel like this is going to happen with all AI generated stuff soon, and then people are going to start AI generating things and then get caught and called out when they try to say that it's not.
Oh yeah, like I wrote this on my own. Well, actually, it's watermarked.
Actually, it says right here that it was written by AI. Kind of like that stuff with those teachers, right?
Yeah.
Well, are you concerned about it at all? Do you think it's going to be an issue, or think it's just?
Well, no. I mean, I think generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with watermarking AI generated content because there is so one of the biggest problems is even make improving the AI models is a challenge because if AI models ingest AI generated content as training data, then they generally get better unless you're doing like adversarial training of models to like copy weights over. So I think generally speaking, it's a good thing if the content being generated is filtered out from human content because then uh, that's something that helps improve the models as well. Um, it kind of reminds me of what Steam is doing for like the AI attestations on their on games, and so there was a YouTube video I was watching on basically the performance of games that have AI content in them. And so probably that AI attestation though is going to be automatic in the future here. I don't know,
I
but
think
I
so
don't know.
too.
Do you think it's a negative thing, or do you kind of see it the same way?
No, I think it's kind of the same. I feel like it's got some benefits there because, like I said, other AI can detect that it was completely AI generated, and I think just getting some origin info there doesn't hurt. And I also think it's just going to happen no matter what. So there's really nothing we can do about it, and it doesn't really matter. And a lot of the stuff is all going to be touched by AI in the near future. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of stuff that is unmolested by AI, right? In the
Yeah.
near future.
So I think it's weird though because like obviously there's just open weight models that don't do that out there. So like how would you like if you really wanted to go without the watermark you could, uh, but if you're just doing mainstream stuff, the watermark's going to be there, and it's kind of like a I don't know. It will be interesting because I think it gives you statistics about like okay how much of the content on the internet is Claude versus Gemini versus other GPT or whatever.
Yeah, that's a really good point. All right, let me show you something else really cool. This one is almost a demo. I think you're gonna like this. Have you seen this? So yeah, she's making this awesome video and just finger flipping up to change her face like this. And I don't know if you can see mine, but we've got the same functionality right here now.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So
So that's like a real time video
I'm not
transform.
sure if the one that she did there was real time. It looked like there was a whole description about how it was done with
Okay.
Premiere and post effects, but did a tiny bit of research and found that somebody had turned this into an open source library, so you could just go in and if you click over in the frame effects part, you can actually turn it on too and just change it. You get a bunch of different frames. There's like this neon one. You're like, I don't know what that one's doing. It's a little bit strange, but there's a whole bunch of different options that you can pick, and you can just put your fingers up right here. Works right here in the browser. Kind of crazy. Um,
Oh, that's wild.
yeah, this is what, 20 minutes of saying, hey, go check out this open source project and integrate it. So, like the speed of software development is going fast.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Oh, there we go. I got a mustache going. I don't know where this flame effect
I
thing
also
is.
said, hey, let's get some regular old face filters and stuff too. So you can do a mustache, or let's drop on like a halo on my head.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Yeah, so all of these were just kind of added by Claude. Is that what you're?
yeah, it was. This one was Sol. So GPT
Oh yeah,
Sol
okay.
just dropped them in and said, hey, go find open source face filters, drop them in. Obviously, not the most beautiful, amazing face filters, but it just kind of, I think, goes to show even more that like, features are going to be coming in at the rate that designers and bosses want in the future. Like, just keep adding stuff fast. No more like, oh, let me go look and see how long that finger thing will take to add. Like, should be able to try it out and have it working in a day. Oh, now you put up the whiteboard too.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, that's cool.
Oh.
I don't know. Close. There we go.
There's also a whiteboard draw over mode too. So if you want to just draw over us talking, just go to stage view.
Yeah, draw over
Right
stage.
here. Yeah.
Cool.
Hi.
We have a clear. Yeah.
Oh, ooh, that's a good question. There is not a
it's
clear, but by the time this recording is over, clear will have been added. So.
No. It's there. It's there.
Oh, is it there? Okay. I'm just blind.
That's so funny. Yeah, back to the dog fooding conversation, I guess. But yeah, the visual effects are. I mean, that does look really cool.
Yeah, for me, the exciting part is just being able to do this stuff without having to decide whether or not it's worth trying to add whatever new feature or whatever functionality now. I feel like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just going to go faster. And I mean, seeing this with everybody that I'm talking to professionally, like the main demand, there's not really like a demand to replace people with AI stuff. It's more just like how much faster can you go with stuff. I see a lot of people at a lot of different companies talking about exactly that, just trying to speed up and see what kind of speed benefits you can get.
Yeah, well, I think it's largely the Red Queen effect. So the more it's something that I kind of learned, and I think I talked about it last time. But it's just that whole thing of like you have to run faster and faster to stay in place, and that's just because everybody has AI now, and so everybody's going faster. So it's not like there's going to be any less competition. It's all just going to be how well can you please your customers and how quickly. And then obviously there's like all the bespoke software that gets created too now. So there's stuff that people would never have invested the time, effort, or money into that just happen, right away, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest chunk of it. It's going to be a ton of that. Just everybody's going to have custom apps built again, kind of like when app development first started. But now it's going to be fast and cheap, and they'll work much better, get a lot better results for what they got versus just hopping on Fiverr or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then just a lot cheaper in general to produce something. Yeah, crazy.
All right, now let's check out this crazy one. Can you hear the audio on here? I'm not sure if I've got audio sharing.
Yeah, I don't know that I am.
If not, you've got to just listen and watch it, and I'll make sure that the audio plays through for everybody.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Sorry. Oh, the end of Karate Kid. That's good. Yeah. Just blocks and hugs.
There was another YouTube. I don't know who did this, but I'm sure you can search it up. But like the guy replaced all of Netflix with movies that had like put his friend in it, and so every movie that he went to on Netflix, like he replaced the whole Netflix like video browser, and you could actually play the movies, and the movie would start up, and his friend would be like in every movie. And so he just had like a couple of them set up, and so they were all like sitting around to watch Netflix, and then he would show up in like every one of the movies. They just had no idea how he was doing it. So I thought that was really funny.
Okay, I've got to pull this up. That is hilarious. Okay.
There's this whole like thing. I'm sure it's in my video history. I can grab it. Yeah. This one.
Oh, that is great.
So he goes through his whole process and everything. It was a good video. But it was just funny because he's like just trolling his friends. Like he only did clips. He like he pre-baked everything with his friends in them, but and so it only lasted for a little while before it all kind of came falling apart.
Of course.
But
That is so awesome.
yeah, the level of effort and then getting his friends together afterwards to like then go put it was a cool video. So
Yeah, that is great. I'm gonna watch this later. This is amazing. I need to make good content like that.
yeah, it's pretty wild.
Oh, this is good stuff. So the only other things I've seen that were interesting lately were more cleaning robots, just constantly fighting with cleaning. Like I told you, the ones that we saw last week that were getting out of the van are here actually cleaning up somebody's pretty nice fancy kitchen. I think
Yeah,
is that a whiteboard in their kitchen? Kind of an interesting.
sure it is. I mean, it's probably the tech CEO of the company.
It does say
Like,
it's for San Francisco. I would imagine that like
yeah,
half the people in San Francisco have a whiteboard in their kitchen.
right.
Seems like the kind of thing that would have a whiteboard and some Wi-Fi antenna head robots cleaning up. They
Yeah.
definitely look interesting. I'm still waiting. I keep having
Yeah,
command.
I mean the company that does this well, like so, I think I told you before that I would buy a robot every year so that we could like it would do another chore. So, and you inspired me for that. But like the first one was like just a vacuum robot, and then I got a mopping robot, and then I got like a window cleaning robot. And the window cleaning robot used a vacuum to stick to the window as it like went back and forth, just like a Roomba, and it was pretty cool, but like kind of left streaks. So like I really think if any one of these companies does like window cleaning well, like really good window cleaning, I think that the rest of it would just fall into place for them. And so I'm a little skeptical seeing them cleaning the inside of a house because I think that uh, people are really particular about their windows, and I think that if somebody really nails window cleaning, I think they'll have won the race, to be honest. But I don't know, that's just my thing, because that was where I think my like fascination with robots started to fall apart. Oh, and I also bought the grill bot. The grill bot was really good. I need to replace the motor on the brushes because they've died after like almost 10 years or something, 5 years maybe. But yeah, I think that yeah, like the demo video here is cool, and I think it could be really good. But as long as it's fully autonomous, obviously. But when it comes to cleaning, people are like really particular about detail, and so that's why I'm like, well, if they do window cleaning well, that means that they got the streaks, which means that the attention to detail is high enough that then they could like conquer other parts of the house. Um, but I don't know. That's just a speculation. I'd be interested to see where it goes.
It's interesting. I never really even think about windows. In fact, yeah, since my ex moved out, I don't think I've cleaned the windows once. Like, I'm thinking about it now. Like, I don't think I've done it at all.
Well, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so that's the whole thing. Is like there's people that like, I generally hate cleaning, and I don't really pay attention to windows either. But like, my wife is, does, she's like, oh, like if you clean the windows, or hiring somebody to clean the windows or whatever, it's very like, oh, they got streaks there, or this sort of thing happened. And so a big question is, somebody who has a high level of attention to detail, if they are satisfied by these robots, then the robots have won. If it's somebody that's like, hey, this is awesome because I don't have to clean anymore, but maybe you and I might have a little bit lower attention to detail when it comes to cleaning.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, then like, it's not going to satisfy the people that are like, oh, I would never buy one of these because it leaves a mess everywhere. So it does have to, in the end, be good enough that somebody, with a eagle eye for some of these things, like cleaning baseboards, right? Cleaning baseboards is a funny thing, because it's like something that I would probably never think of and would have never thought of ever otherwise. But when it's brought to the attention, I'm like, okay, I'm cleaning the baseboards. Like, is this good enough? Like, I don't even know. I can't even calibrate what good enough is. This video is going to haunt me in my future, I'm sure.
It would do a better job than me, though. And it would do it regularly, right? Like, I might clean the baseboards when it's like time to sell the house. Right.
Yeah. And that's like the only time I would ever think to like clean the baseboards. But like, there is a desire to have clean baseboards when you invite people over. And so
you have to look down at the ground, though. I'm just happy that the mop bot has cleaned the floor and it's not sticky. That is like, that is the win for me. I'm like, all right, there's no dirt on the floor, nothing stuck to my feet. Like, Mopbot is doing it at the shop, which is, I don't know if I told you about that one. The thing is amazing, Mopbot. I will link it in the description. I might even go grab it and show it. Did I show it to you yet?
I don't know. I mean, is it an Everbot or? So I have an Everbot mop, and I really like those. Like,
I'm gonna go grab him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty crazy, this cleaning, especially if it's at full speed. I don't know if that's at full speed or not, but I think if one of those robots there was walking around cleaning baseboards and stuff, I think that's the level of detail.
There he is. He's a Robo-Rock.
Oh, okay.
Tony, but he's got 2 mop pads there that spin.
Oh, nice, awesome. Yeah. So it's is it a combination vacuum and mop, or is it?
So it vacuums and mops, and it'll do one or the other or both, or it'll do them like in order. They usually just have it do vacuum and then mop right behind in most spots. But it's the only one that I've ever found that actually like mops when you have kids. Like it actually cleans up like a sticky mess with those spinning pads, and then it goes back and auto washes them. It auto refills it. I've had other mop bots, and every time I like put water in it like twice, maybe 3 times, and it does like half the house, and then I gotta go put more water in it. This thing, I fill it up like once a week, just these giant tub. I dump it out, pour water in the other one, and just does it. So yeah, love it. Yeah. Best robot I've bought so far.
Nice. Yeah, I think the humanoid robot space, when the robot is picking up the mop, which I think is what's in your video here, right? Is like,
that's
it walks around with the vacuum, it gets on its knee and gets down and like scrubs stuff like that. It's going to be a whole different world pretty soon here. And yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they can manufacture well enough. Also, these things, I think they're probably being, I think you pointed out last time that their heads have antennas on them. They look like basically wireless AC or wireless Wi-Fi 7 access points or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, like the level of radio transmission that's happening in there too, because like, is it just being orchestrated remotely, or is the computer inside the robot, or are these just like remote shells that are being operated by some huge server inside the truck? Because I think that's going to be a big piece of it too, especially with like concrete housing and stuff like that, where concrete walls on houses or other things, because maybe they drive up and they realize that they can't service that house because there's too much
or the
radio.
building's too tall or something. I would assume that'd be something they would think about though, and playing around and have something
Right.
built in.
Yeah,
But
like a internal antenna where they bring in the antenna or something into the house or something.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can
Um,
find out more about it. Kind of interesting. Um,
yeah, yeah,
the last thing I saw that was interesting on cleaning, which I think this is neat, but also more like the vision part might tie in better with a real humanoid robot. But this thing is essentially like a little robot vacuum that's looking for messes and just going and targeting the messes instead of going and cleaning the whole house constantly.
oh, that's cool.
Seemed like the kind of thing that would be built into those other robots as little core pieces.
Yeah,
But this also seems drastically cheaper, right? I'm guessing that this little guy
it,
is in the 3 figures instead of 6. Right?
yeah. I wonder. I wonder if it has like. I wonder if it's that form factor because it's just got a giant like NVIDIA 5090 in the roof of it. It's like, okay, I know what to go do now. It needs some brain power, but yeah. I've been on a huge like local model kick, and I'm just trying to figure out more about what can be done with local models and things. So I'm just really interested in that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Have you found anything interesting lately this week?
Yeah. So one of the links that I had thrown in there was the basically the amount of spend that you would have to have. It was from Kai, this YouTube video on the best hardware for running local LLMs. And he goes through and basically, like, the most interesting part of that video is like 10 minutes in, where he does the local versus server based cutoff. And he's like, if you're spending $2,000, this calculation right here, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So throughout the whole video, he goes through everything, and then he jumps in and gets that, $3 an hour times 720 hours versus the $2,000 a month. So if you're spending over $2,000 a month in tokens, then it's better to have your own system locally. And so I thought that was a pretty interesting calculation. And obviously, I think that cost will come down over time as well. But it's kind of a good thing, because like I'm always thinking like, oh, can I do this locally? And then actually, there was this other video. I'm kind of just like looking through my YouTube history right now, because I'm obviously spending too much time doing this. So I just linked another one. And this guy, Network Chuck, he built a AI supercomputer with 5 Mac Studios. And so he jumps through, and apparently you can split a LLM across multiple computers and then have the tokens synchronize over the network instead of a bus, like a enterprise level bus. And so he showed that, like, traditional Ethernet at 10 gig Ethernet is not fast enough, and he had like a 40 gig Thunderbolt in there, and that like made it tolerable with the 5, and that was kind of his conclusion. But his setup was like significantly cheaper than what you would find in but also significantly slower. So I thought that was a pretty interesting stab at it as well.
How much slower was it?
It was, I mean, it to the point where it probably isn't worth it, I think.
Oh, okay.
but it's interesting just because I think there's a lot of people trying to figure out, how can we get there. Oh, and then also this other video from Alex Ziskind. He had, I'll put this link in too. He said he tested the cheapest path to the 96 gig VRAM, and so he got 4 like cheap as possible cards with to set up a 96 gig VRAM machine. And so it's like, that's getting closer to it, where I think you can do like agentic workloads with that. It's not going to be good as like Sonnet or anything, but it's a pretty interesting path there as well.
Interesting. Yeah. So is it just, are those, I'm not really familiar with those cards, those AMD Pro ones, are they
Oh yeah, well they improve, and then the Intel Arcs as well.
Oh,
So
Arc
like,
Pros.
yeah, so like what's interesting too is so I have an Intel Arc machine on my work computer, or an Intel Arc card on my work computer, and so it actually has like a 32 gig VRAM, or sorry, an AI shared RAM location. But every time I try to get a model to run on it, it doesn't seem to run. So I know I'm doing something wrong, and I haven't invested enough time into it yet. But uh, there's definitely like a different setup than like what the traditional setup would be. So I got to work through that and understand what that means for it. But I still think that the M5 Pro Maxes are going to be the best way to go for consumer models. It's really not contested anywhere at this point, I think. But I do want to see, you know, what the trade off point is, and yeah. So you can even see the size of those cards, and so like they're like really tiny in comparison, but they're just like specialized AI cards. They're not graphics cards. They can't be used for video games at all, but they still handle the AI workloads. So I found this video pretty interesting too.
It's
But
interesting. It's kind of crazy that AI cards are going to become like a core thing soon.
yeah, I
They kind of
mean,
already are. Well, and the
the,
video cards are crazy price. My kid came to me 2 days ago, letting me know that 5090s were like $1 a number almost. Well, we're getting close to it. Yeah, it's like a 5090 is 4830. We're almost
yeah,
cost
buy.
50. They should just price them at 5090. Right?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to buy a 6090, it's gonna be $6,090. What do you like?
I'm so glad I bought my system with a 3090 before
Yeah,
GPUs stopped being about video games.
man, I look at just buying machines and stuff like that, and I'm like, Costco is like the only place that really makes any sense anymore, because I think Costco set up these deals like a long time ago,
Yeah.
and so it's like you can practically buy the PC for the price of the graphics card now.
When I bought mine, that was the case. It was $100 more to buy my whole computer with an i9 RAM and an SSD than it was to just buy the 3090 on its own. It was like right
Yeah,
when Bitcoin was getting really starting to like massively grow, so the prices had gone up. But it was before AI and prices had just exploded. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's right now it's insane, and I think that I don't know, in the next 5 years I think we'll see a huge divergence between AI cards and gaming cards, and so
yeah.
and then I think it'll get sane again, but we're in that gold rush moment where everybody's just like trying to extract as much functionality and power as possible.
Makes sense. It's the new gold rush, literally.
Yeah.
That just like when the iPhone came out, AI is out. There's a lot of opportunity. A lot of things are going to change and completely shake up. A lot of things that didn't exist before are going to start existing. Just
Yeah.
like when the iPhone came out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't spend a day, at least in my work life, I don't spend a day that looks anything like 2 years ago.
Same here. No, I'm exactly the same. Work life and in outer work
Yeah.
life, it's just drastically different. Spend a lot less time in an IDE. Spend a lot less time in documents, period, and a lot more time with just communicating with AI and having it do that. I had Claude send, I don't know, half a dozen emails and get me some refunds and go find a business account I didn't know about from a while ago that it could just random stuff today while I was doing other things. It's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
really funny. I've been hesitant to give control, like full control over my authenticated browsers to Claude and stuff like that. And I've been just slowly tipping into that, where the Claude desktop combined with the AI, or sorry, the Claude Chrome plugin.
Mhm.
And I just started testing it out today, in fact, where it's like, I can say, go look at my Word documents on my OneDrive, go and grab all this information, then go to this website and run through and uh, organize those documents in the appropriate places in SharePoint, and then go back and email the people that are waiting for this, and then do this other stuff, and it just goes and does it all. I'm like, okay, like we're at a point where I'm like, okay, go read my email and handle as many of them as possible. So like I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, you'll get there real quick today. And I just let it go a few minutes ago. It's negotiating new car insurance rates with State Farm
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
having them bid against AAA. So we'll see how it does.
Yeah.
It's been great.
There was a builder of like housing units, and I had seen this like where there were promises made to the city and documented on the city records, and you're like, go look these up and then go email an inquiry about where they are with fulfilling these. And so a lot of these things where they just get brushed under the rug, you can actually like have them chased down, especially in public record. And so I'm like, my mind is blown. Like you can you can follow up on like really esoteric stuff, and all this time that would be taken going and doing all that research is like trivial now. So I think that's a huge deal.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's going through a lawsuit, just a civil suit over some financial stuff, and do the same. Just like, hey, look at all this data, and then give me all the stuff that I actually needed from it, and it's just saved him a ton of time finding lots of things that he didn't find on his own, and his lawyer didn't find on his own the first couple times going through. There's just so much data, and just find patterns really fast. It's great stuff.
Yep. Yep.
But, anything else interesting this week?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. I got, just quite a lot of really cool wins from the like developer standpoint, and the self-improving skills and other things along those lines. So that's all going swimmingly now. And still doing a lot of game development. It's kind of hybrid where I'll do some stuff for a while. I'll do some like level design until I get fed up with placing props, and then I'll be like, okay, now let's do a script that like then does this for everything else. And so I got some really cool, just like fun stuff going on. But it's all just kind of like, I've done it a million times now, and I think we've talked about that sort of stuff a lot. So it'll be interesting to see like what the boundaries are, and push them further. So I'm excited for the future here.
Yeah, I want to see, and I think maybe this would be an interesting topic for another call, and maybe even get Kevin from Bezzy in here to talk about it. But I'm curious about your thoughts on AI development of games versus apps. I'm finding in my experience, and like I said, we can talk about it next time, but in my experience, apps are drastically easier to develop and iterate on than games with AI. I feel like AI is able to build out an app and do the core functionality relatively well. With games, there's a lot more direction needed. It's a lot more. Here's this little thing, check little thing. Next little thing,
Yeah.
check next little thing. You seem kind of the same. Maybe we talk about it for a minute, but
Yeah. So I don't know this. I don't know how long we have for this video. I'm just kind of open ended right now. But with my game development, so in the app world, I can tell my agent to like check its work afterwards. So like spawn a sub agent, start a server, go look at what the changes you made, and it can do the full loop close. Like it can replace a single lambda and try something. Okay, yeah, it worked, and then like go back and all that stuff. So like everything is fully like you can get a closed loop. The from beginning to end, it's like I did the feature, I tested the feature, I actually went around and clicked on the UI using Playwright, whatever. In game development, I think that's hard, but also we're kind of testing for other things, right? Because we're in a simulation space, and in that simulation space, certain, because everything is in an app is like, restful calls, and everything inside a game engine is like the event loop in the simulation. So what I have been thinking of, I haven't really tried this out, but you reminded me of it just now, is this idea of like really what we need is we need our agents, our LLMs, to produce a um, not a bot, but like sort of the like MMO cheating bots where they like go and mine things in an MMO or whatever. So they a second app that plays the game. And it plays it quickly, right? Because LLMs are going to be like, and transformer models in general is going to be like a wait for it to process and think about what's going on. But we're really testing things where it requires like reflexes and things to happen inside the simulation, and we're not looking at like what happens from one frame to the next. We're looking at what happens over thousands or hundreds of thousands of frames, right?
Right.
So I do think that there's some value in exploring this idea of the AI creates a bot to play your game, and then the bot plays and then gives like a a scoring of like how it did given the tools, and then you're like, okay, well, I want to increase the difficulty or I want to decrease the difficulty, and then I think you get that same sort of effect where it's like, okay, the agent can fully test everything, but I don't think that we have the LLM testing the game. I think which I think is true for apps where it's like the LLM says, okay, I'm going to go click on this now, and then it moves the cursor and clicks it or whatever. I think what we need is, it's like, okay, I created a bot. It's going to play the game and it's going to do, as much of the game as possible and run through the whole thing. And then, oh, I see that my bot got stuck, so I'm going to change the way that it behaves going forward. I think that that's probably where we're heading with video game development, because then you can close loop the whole thing and like create like a full-fledged FPS or an MMO or something.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It seems like something that somebody is probably already building too. I wonder how many companies are making something like that. I'm going to look into that for the next episode, see if we can find something like that.
Yeah,
it does make a lot of sense. The closest thing I've used was that I think I told you about it for the Meta XR operator thing that they built, which was
right.
Meta's big in AI stuff too. So they obviously built a little tool to like to run the XR agents.
Does it play the game, like look around and stuff? Okay,
that's what it's basically what it does. So it knows the world, can look around, interact with it, and then interact like a VR player basically.
Right.
It definitely is interesting, but it doesn't solve the non-VR XR stuff, right? If you're not doing that, although theoretically, it probably would be pretty easy for them to make it work for everything, or somebody else do something similar.
Yeah, well, watching Claude Desktop go and click through Google Chrome for me recently, what I've seen is, it is taking screenshots and then running it through a transformer, and then obviously then it uses the contents of the screen to then decide what to do next. So I think that's just fundamentally too slow. So I think what we need to do is we need to have a way to close the feedback loop, and that so it's funny because you think about brains and conscious thought and stuff like that, and so there's this whole idea of and the anthropic researchers talking about the LLMs showing that there's a consciousness by the definition of the psychologist that kind of said something of like there being a stage, and something is conscious when there's everything that's focused on the stage, but a bunch of things are happening outside the stage, from a play or something, and so I think like going back to like if you treated the LLM as the consciousness and then you had something that was acting as reflexes in a central nervous system, I think that's what like the thing that plays the simulation is, right? So there's like the slow thinking brain and then the fast thinking brain, and so if the slow thinking brain can be responsible for creating the fast thinking brain, then you could do something that is like that plays more like cheat engine bot that will work your controls from outside your game and play your game for you in order to determine like faster reflex and balancing and things like that. And then you could say like, oh, like, you know, have the reflexes of a human playing the game. Like, let's make it fun, that sort of thing.
I'm gonna try that. That's gonna be my experiment for this week. Yeah, I've been looking for a fun experiment for game stuff. That seems like a great one to do. Oh, now I've got a plan.
All right, sounds
yeah,
good.
I think we should definitely bring somebody on to talk about some of that too, and just maybe start grabbing some random guests to talk about different AI topics. It'd be fun.
Yeah, there's so many discords right now where like AI content in games and things like that. So we can you know, put out a call for that too. Be good.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, drop a comment, shoot us an email. What's up? All right, you got anything else, Chris?
No, that's it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep, this is a blast as always, and see you in the next couple days or the next one, whenever we do it, which will be real soon.
Bye, everyone.